Hello everyone, welcome to our Good Morning Tarot. So let's start by checking what is the energy for today. What is our main energy for today? Okay, this is a general reading, so it's open to all signs. So for our main energy for today, we have here the Six of Pentacles. Okay, the energy is that of generosity. Generosity to others and generosity to ourselves. Okay, so uh, yeah, I think generosity is much easier to do when you know that you are loved by the divine, by the spirit, and that everything you need is provided for you. And when you are open, when you share it with others, the more grace will come through you. It's like an open water faucet. When the water faucet is open, more water passes through it, especially if the source of the water is unlimited, like the divine. Well, the divine will always channel graces through you if the divine knows that if they give you graces, it will benefit not only you, but other people. You will be a cup that is overflowing. So in a certain sense, yeah, having that awareness of the divine providing for us will allow us to have this generous energy. I think you will be receiving a lot of gifts from the divine today. So don't hesitate to share it with other people. At the same time also, be generous to yourself. Now, generous to yourself and generosity to others can also be not just in material things. It can be generosity by giving them time, giving time for others. Also generosity to yourself by giving yourself time. Also time to rest, time to sort of rejuvenate oneself. Okay. At the same time, also generosity is also singing that special song that you are meant to sing. So it is the gifts and the talents that you have, using it for the benefit of mankind. Also, using that talent also to animate yourself, to recharge yourself. So if you enjoy, you have that gift of painting and you enjoy doing it, then yeah, spending time also for that. So giving time for yourself also, and also for others. So it's like that. Somehow this is what I feel right now. A moment of generosity. Generosity is not only to people but also to the rest of the universe. So just take how it resonates with you. Now let us see how this will affect us for today. Well, it will set us free. Very nice. Okay. Somehow, yeah. I don't know why decluttering suddenly came to me. Maybe it is if you have certain things in your within yourself. If you have certain things right now that you are no longer using, and some other people can benefit from it. It's like releasing judgment, no, being released. No, you release yourself from the burden of taking care of these things and give it to others who will benefit from it, others who will need it and will really cherish it. So, yeah, maybe it's another thing that you need to do for today to inventory what you have right now and try to see who can benefit from it. The things that you no longer are using, things that are just gathering dusts in your cabinets. So try to see also. It's like, yeah, setting yourself free and setting these things free so that others can benefit from them too. Uh, Somehow generosity to others also is giving the other people a sense of freedom, allowing them to come and go in our life, not being too possessive of people that we care for, giving them the freedom to make their choices, the freedom to commit mistakes, the freedom to come and go, something like that. So judgment setting free is, yeah, the universe is setting us free from certain things. It's a right now the universe is giving us the gift of being set free. But I feel also that somehow there is also the energy of us setting other people free. And at the same time also, I think generosity to ourselves by setting ourselves free also of certain things that are burdening us but really are not helping us in our life right now. Maybe setting us free from a certain addiction or a certain habit to allow us to live a better life, no? At the same time also setting ourselves free from certain things that we felt committed to but actually we don't need to be committed to, things that burden us, no? So somehow, yeah, so it's generosity to others, generosity to ourselves, and also having that yeah, that energy of setting things free, setting ourselves free, and setting people free. Interesting. Now, what is the advice of the universe for us? Well, work on it diligently. You need to give it attention, okay? Because it is, maybe it is something that you have not given attention to, because you sometimes feel there are still other things I can attend to. This is very simple. I can handle on it later on. Maybe that's the reason why you are still hindered by it, because yeah, it will take some effort on your part to set yourself free from certain habits, no? Or to let go of certain things that are just gathering dusks in your place, because you said, "Oh, I can do it later, there's still other things I need to do." So something that maybe you, the advice of the universe is maybe you need to put attention into it, especially if it's just going to take a few effort or maybe just a few minutes to do. Like for example, opening your cabinet and deciding which are the things that still spark joy or no longer spark joy in you. It's which are the things that you feel are still useful and no longer useful. You start at one cabinet at a time or one box at a time, and then afterwards, a few minutes after, when you're free again, you do it. I guess all you have to do is to start working on it. The same time, yeah, that generosity, you need to, yeah, exert a little effort to make it happen. Well, so that's it for today. I hope that it has been helpful to you, and I think it's nice. It will set us free. Whatever it is that you need to give, whatever it is that you need to give attention to, uh, maybe once you do, you give attention to it, maybe it will just take a few minutes, and suddenly you will have a certain release, a certain freedom. Well, I hope it has helped you. This reading has helped you for today. Thank you for the likes and comments that you've given to the channel. But I forgot that we still have to go to the self-care tip. Okay. So let us now go to the second part of the Good Morning Tarot. So for our self-care tip, we have here, have patience with all things, but first of all, with yourself. From Francis de Sales. So it's true. It reminds me of a saying, endurance is a mighty charm, and patience brings many good things. If we are patient with certain people in our life who sometimes try our patience, especially when this person somehow you feel you need to give extra care for, because it takes time for them to, realize certain things in their life. Once you are patient with them, you create an environment that is more conducive for them to change for the better. When people know that they are loved and cared for in spite of themselves, when they are in that kind of an environment where they feel accepted and they just can be who they are, they can sort of allow their wounded selves to be open, it somehow creates an environment that is also open to healing, open to change. So somehow patience create that kind of environment. At the same time also for ourselves, not to be hard on ourselves, to free ourselves from those shoulds and shouldn'ts. Sometimes the shoulds and shouldn'ts, which is usually imposed on us when we were still children and somehow became part of us already. Uh, Actually, they were never with us, they were imposed on us, but we were not aware of it because we considered those people who thought us these things as very important to us, and we do not want to be rejected, so we accepted it, and sooner or later it becomes part of us, but somehow it stuck with us, and it somehow prevented us from growing further. So letting go of these things, we need to have patience also to ourselves. So we need to accept also our own weaknesses and to be patient with ourselves, to always have that desire to change, but also not pressuring ourselves too much. I mean, uh, to set ourselves free from these shoulds and shouldn'ts also. Patience to ourselves is also charity, not only to ourselves but also to the people around us. When we learn to be forgiving of ourselves, when we learn to be patient of ourselves, we develop that humility, knowing that we cannot impose on others too. That you learn to be patient also with others, because we know also that we are just like them. We also have our own weaknesses and our own failings. So, yeah, we need to be patient both to ourselves and to others. Now, below this card, it says, write down ways in which you can be more patient with yourself. Keep this list handy to reference when needed. Okay, it's nice that to write just a short note of how we can be more patient with ourselves. Things that you can do, like for example, uh, taking a deep breath and counting 1 to 10. So sometimes if you're, yeah, if we have a tendency to explode or get angry, we have that list to remind us, okay, take a deep breath, count from 1 to 10. And then afterwards you feel better, hopefully. The same time also with other people. Instead of immediately responding, sometimes it helps to take a deep breath and count 1 to 10. Another thing is also massaging your earlobes. I learned it that sometimes when you are irritated with somebody, massage your earlobes and you for a few minutes, and oftentimes you will feel better. And yeah, the tension will slowly go away. Okay. Um, I learned it from somebody, and it's quite effective. Okay. Now, let us go to the handbook that accompanies this card. There are two sections. First is the internal self-care, which is related to our mental, emotional, and physical aspects. So it says here, when we rush our own process, we often miss the lessons along the way. This can cause us to repeat the same patterns over and over again, wondering why we cannot seem to change. Today, as you make your list of ways that you rush through your life or feel impatient with yourself, ask, what would be lost if I slowed down here and tuned in to my thoughts or feelings? And then, what would be gained? So yeah, it's like the Eight of Pentacles earlier in our tarot reading. Sometimes all we need to do is to slow down, sit down, write down certain things that we have not been giving attention for quite some time. And maybe this is one thing, being patient to ourselves and to others. Maybe we need to, it might just take a few minutes to just sit down and write them down. So these are one of those little things that we might that might have been burdening us already when all it needs is just a few minutes of effort. Now let's go to the external self-care, which is related to our relationships, community, creativity, and work. Oftentimes, our most intimate relationships become breeding grounds for our most potent personal work, placeholders for our attempt to find what we most desire in this life, and our need to be witnessed as we truly are. Many times, problems arise when we become impatient with the long, discursive process of becoming ourselves. Why cannot things be better now? Today, your tasks is to look at a particular challenging relationship in your life. What is it that feels problematic to you at this moment? Instead of rushing to fix it or blaming yourself or the other person, simply step back. With an impartial gaze, begin to observe the dynamic. What forces are inspiring you at this moment? What forces are inspiring the other person? And as you begin to identify these things, instead of worrying about outcomes or solutions, simply send this message to both parties. You are on your life journey and you are learning as you go. Every step of the way is equally important. Be here now. Yeah, sometimes the struggle to get rid of certain addictions or the struggle to get rid of certain habits is part of life's journey, and it might take some time and some effort, but sometimes all we need is to be patient, to wait. It's like baking a cake. There's a set time for it to get cooked. If you hurry it up, then you will have a cake that is not well done, a cake that is not cooked well, and you will not enjoy also the cake that was cooked. So there's a time for everything. A time to grow, a time to learn new things, a time to be young, a time to be old. So sometimes we need to wait for the right time. The time of the divine, the time of the spirit, the time of God. Yeah, patience. Well, that's it for this morning. Yeah, thank you for and wait for accompanying me in this tarot reading and also this self-care tip. Thank you for the likes and comments that you've given to the channel, and thank you for subscribing. I hope to see you again next time. Until that moment, may God continue to bless your ways.